are fly fishermen targeting? Browns or rainbows?
I think they're just happy catching anything.
A friend.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Deep Drop. This is a fishing podcast that makes a little less sense each time you hear it. Adam Ring, Luke McCredden here. Ads, tell us what this is all about, please, my friend.
Well, it's interesting. That's the first time I've ever heard of it described as makes a little less sense each time you hear it. But it's really accurate.
It's not far off.
It's really accurate because we take the everyday fishing questions that you may think or even speak aloud to your fishing buddy every time you're out on the water. We bring those questions to life. We break them down. And the more we talk about it, the more our opinion changes. Yeah. So it's pretty accurate when you say it makes less sense each time that you listen to it. So let's roll with that.
But I mean, is that kind of fishing in a nutshell as well? The deeper diving you go into fishing, it's kind of there's a lot of it that doesn't make sense, but that's why we love it.
That's right, and it's exactly why this podcast needs to exist. Because we're not afraid to say it's confusing. We're not afraid to say we don't know all the answers, but we are definitely not afraid to talk shit about it and throw some extra ideas out there and then throw to you guys, the listeners, where you can get in touch and follow us on Instagram, be a part of the conversation so that by the end of it, whenever that may be, we might be able to build some sort of definitive answer. But it's kind of fun that there isn't a definitive answer, isn't it?
That's what I reckon. It's a sport, a hobby, a pastime, whatever you want to call it, that is just that. It's open-ended. You know, we can make it as complicated or as simple as we like fishing. It's not something that has, I guess, a beginning and end. We can go as far and deep as we want, and
it's infinite.
I think you and I, are kind of almost testament to that. We've been in this industry for a fair while, Ads, in various sort of, I suppose, areas. But for some reason, I still feel like it's new to me in a lot of ways. Like there's just, whenever I go to
still not sick of it.
No. Whenever we talk and I go to see some new gear, which we did recently, and we'll touch on in a minute. I came and visited you guys and checked out some new products in your stable, but it just makes me reset again and go, all right, well, fuck, how am I going to catch a fish with that?
Yep, every meeting just brings up more questions, so I don't think we'll ever run out of content. Let's say
no, and not at all. And you touched on it there, but Instagram, you guys have given us some great content, some great ideas, some great inspiration, to be honest, and we love it. So please stay in touch and keep the messages coming through, keep engaging with our posts and sharing your thoughts with us, because we appreciate it. And if you're new here, this is a very non-judging group of people that you've joined. So welcome and be yourself, and don't be afraid to say, well, I've got no idea. I've got no idea, but here's what I reckon. And we will embrace it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I love it.
Luke, I need to start by extending apologies to not only you but all the listeners. It was a bit of a wild week last week. We come off the back of the Melbourne trade show for Rapala, which was no big issue. It was great. I was going to be back in time to record the pod.
Yep.
And the day I arrived home, I came home to find that I was without power for 48 hours.
Yes.
So that kind of shut down any sort of idea of not only podcasting but staying in my own house. So that was a little bit of a problem. I apologise to you. I apologise to the listeners, but we're back.
We're back.
We've had a trade show. Luke, you and I caught up on official business.
We did. It was weird. It was weird.
It was weird.
We was just ready to sort of just take the piss out of each other and have a laugh.
I didn't know whether to be professional or to fuck around.
No. We did a bit of both.
I got caught somewhere in between.
it was like, just not really knowing. It was like we were kids again, and you see your friend from school, but you're outside of school. So you're kind of like, well, I don't know how to talk to you right now because we're not in school uniform at our school. So that was us for a couple of hours the other day, and we kind of glanced at each other and then looked away awkwardly and went, I don't know what to do with my hands and I don't know where to look.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was, That was great to see some of the new products. Obviously, we're in trade show season. Ads. We spoke a couple of weeks ago about ICAST, which is the big one in the States that I went over and visited, but we're only a week away from the Australian trade show after.
Yep, next week we leave.
Wild.
We go up next week.
And in the meantime, you guys have done a bit of a road show on the new products coming out of the Rapala stable, which was cool. And man, and I'm not just trying to say it because you're in the room. I'll say it when you're not in the room too. The finish on some of these new lures, dude, it's just going to cost me money.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's going to be another big year for fishing tackle all round. Like I said, I've known about and seen what's happening at Rapala for a little while, but it was really exciting to start showing that to some of the stores for launch. Some in the next week and a half, some later on this year. So exciting times. We head up to the Gold Coast next week. Luke, that's the whole industry trade show up on the Gold Coast. That's where we'll see everybody's new gear, which is always exciting. Yeah, and this is where you launch your stable of products to the market, and then it starts rolling out to stores, which is awesome. We'll talk about that, and we will have a post-after wrap-up show, which is great because, we'll be literally balls deep in the after show over the course of a few days, so we'll be ready to, I suppose, unload that information to you guys out there listening. Now, that's a pretty, confronting sort of way that I've phrased that. So I don't. There's the soundbite for this week.
So you know what I mean. We're gonna talk about it. Everyone loves new gear, and there is some really cool stuff coming through from a whole heap of the major brands.
Everybody, literally everybody.
Yep. So whether it's rods, reels, lures, I'm fortunate enough to be in charge of the lures that come through the Anaconda stores around the country, Ads. So it just so happens that I am an absolute nuffy for lures as well. So it's really exciting because I've already seen a few little bits and pieces coming through, and can't wait to talk about it, actually, to be honest. So stay tuned for that. In a couple of weeks' time, we'll be getting stuck into that. Adam, before we go any further, I can't believe it's been about 6 or 7 minutes, and we haven't even spoken about the merch line that's dropped.
The merch line, some high quality merch, I must say. Luke, you handed me the first of my caps.
Yes,
from the new merch line in Melbourne last week. If you're in charge or you're in touch with our socials, Luke, well done to you. So, because a quality little story post there on the new merch.
Well. There is. Listen, we just wanted to start getting the brand out a bit, Ads, and we thought, well, there's a fair chance most of our listeners wear a cap, and a fair chance that most of them enjoy beer or any sort of drink. So we've done a stubby
solid
holder.
99.95%, I reckon.
I reckon. And if you're not in that percentile, let us know what you'd like. We'll create something for you. But there is a stubby holder. There is a flex fit cap, which is actually a really good quality cap. Probably surprised both of us of the actual quality of it. It was great. And we're doing that on the website. The deepdrop.au is where you can pick up that combo, and we'll even ship it for free. And so get over there and...
It's what we do, Luke. We offer amazing value in both pod and merch.
And life advice. So listen, we'd love, and a shout out to all of you guys that have jumped on and purchased a cap and stubby holder. Much appreciated. Love that we're going to start seeing the Deep Drop brand on a few noggins out there in the wide world. So if you want to be part of that and rep the brand, we'd love you to. So appreciate the support already, everyone, for listening and tuning in. But this is another little way to help, I suppose, Ads take the next few steps for us, which is, I guess, we've got a few things on the horizon. So just wanted to start expanding a little bit and putting some merch out into the wide world.
Yep, plenty more to come at the Deep Drop as we continue to get amongst it and sort of work a few things out. It's a slow process, but it's been a fun one. So keep an eye on socials to stay up to date. But Luke, getting into the nuts and bolts of this week's episode.
Yeah, let's do it. What have you got?
If everyone out there recalls, we broke down a survey. We don't mind a good survey or a good poll here at Deep Drop. We broke down a survey done by New South Wales Fisheries, and this was about the species that were actually caught by recreational fishers
yes. Yep,
in New
I
South
remember.
Wales.
I
So
remember.
find that, have a scroll backwards through Spotify, check it out. There was some interesting results.
From memory, there was a few questionable results in that, but I think for the most part, it gave a pretty good summation snapshot of
that's right.
of the New South Wales.
Exactly
fishery.
that. Take it for what it is. It was a good snapshot of what's happening. We have same but different from Victoria here, Luke. So
Okay.
we stumbled across this from VR Fish, who put something out on socials last week, and it was a recap of a survey that they conducted with recreational fishers on the species that they prefer to target. All right, so this is not about capture. The New South Wales one was about fish that were actually caught.
So this
on
is
any
more
given
about
trip.
This is more about your preference, what you prefer to target. Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay, this is interesting.
So what was even better with this
And I know,
survey-
just sorry to cut in. I know you probably told me to do some homework and look at this. Didn't. Haven't seen it. So it's over to you, my friend.
No, well, that's okay. So we're going to get your first take
Good,
as we
okay.
roll through this list. Now, what I appreciated about this list, Luke, was not only did we see the results of the most targeted species in Vic through this number of wreck fishers,
Yeah.
they compared it to 2022. So we actually have the figures
Okay.
from 2022 compared to 2024.
So it was the same survey in 22.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
okay,
we have a comparison here too, which is very interesting.
That is interesting.
Now, before we launch into it, I just want to say, and very quick shout out to you and I. We
you're shouting
called
out.
number
You're
one.
shouting us out.
I am, because
Okay.
we called number one. So I'll give you a
right.
stab. What did we call? What do you reckon?
Well, I remember recently, and I don't know if this is where you're going. Recently, we argued or discussed what was more popular in Victoria, snapper or King George whiting, and I think you and I landed on King George whiting.
Turns out we're correct.
Fuck
King George whiting at number one.
Yeah.
As the most preferred species as targeted by Victorian recreational fishers.
I'm going to change the intro to this episode of and word it in somewhat. This is the most factual fishing podcast you'll ever hear. Something along those lines.
100%.
That's good.
2022, only 2 years ago,
Yeah.
what was number one?
Well, I don't know, but is it different to King George whiting? So is it snapper?
No, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not. It's King George whiting. And that 2 years ago, I wouldn't have picked. I think I still would have put snapper number one targeted 2 years ago.
Okay.
But then again, I don't really remember what happened last week, let alone 2 years ago.
That's a good point.
In 2022. So let's just say
I love
we
that.
know what's up.
Okay.
So King George number one, snapper number two, no surprises there. And it was also number two in 2022.
Okay, so 1 and 2 didn't change.
1 and 2 didn't change. Well, actually, so quick precursor to the next little bit. The top 6 didn't change.
Right, okay. Well, and it's 2 years, so I'm not that surprised.
But I've got questions.
Oh, okay.
So number 3 is flathead. Now that they've just all flathead species are in one thing, which fair,
I'm okay with that.
I reckon.
Yep.
Fair.
I'm okay with that.
So King George number 1, snapper number 2, flathead number 3 hasn't changed since 2022. Mm-hmm. I should have probably read this more before I started.
Are you doing some real-time research?
No.
This is
Number
great.
3, flathead, doesn't include duskies.
Oh.
So duskies become its own species.
So, okay, the
So
people that were surveyed, they said flathead, but they're referring
Or
to...
dusky flathead.
Right, okay. Yep.
So a little bit weird, but I kind of get it.
Yeah, interesting.
So we'll let that one slip.
Yeah.
The next one is where I don't think I can let it slip. Because the last time you went trout fishing, Luke, Did you have in mind that you would prefer to target and catch a brown or rainbow trout, or just catch a trout?
Well, not controversial, but no, I don't. I think
I can't remember the last. Actually, I don't. I've never ever been trout fishing and thought, you know what, I'm going to target brown trout today.
no.
Also,
I'm
never
probably
said the
with you
same
there,
about rainbow
actually.
trout. Yeah. So we've got at number 4. At number 4, we've got rainbow trout, and at number 5, we've got brown trout. Seems a little fishy. No
Bundle
pun
it up.
intended.
Bundle it up to just trout. Can I just go back to the flathead piece for just a second? Because, sorry, we skipped over it, but I just wanted to... So you're saying that people had the choice of... And I don't know how this survey was presented, but had the choice of saying flathead or dusky flathead.
Yeah.
But I'm just sort of crunching some numbers in my head, wondering how many of the people that just said flathead assumed that was dusky flathead as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I just
I'm
find it
not
an interesting
sure.
species to be that high up the list for but remove the removal of the dusky flathead. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
I also think it's weird that rainbow trout and brown trout are paired together, but not the same thing. So, at number 4 is rainbow trout. At number 5 is brown trout.
yeah.
It's kind of weird that they're both right together. Because then at number 6 is dusky flathead. So let me recap before I get your thoughts.
Okay.
Number 3, flathead, all other species except for duskies. 4, rainbow trout. 5, brown trout. 6, dusky flathead. And that order, mind you, hasn't changed since 2024.
Okay.
It's weird.
I'm questioning even the order of the trout. I would have thought that brown, if you had to choose one, browns were kind of a preferred target. This is just a pure assumption out of nothing, but just based on people that I know, which is obviously a small portion. But you know what I mean?
Well, let's break it down, because we established earlier in the pod at the start of this piece that we spit facts, and this might be the most factual podcast you've ever listened to.
Yeah.
May or may not be.
Quote us when you go into the tackle shop next time. Say,
Luke,
hey.
if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, we did our own poll at some point on the best looking fish of all time, of which brown trout was in there.
Yep.
Then we did, what did we do? Top
It was
5?
top 5. Yep.
Top 5. Rainbow trout didn't even get a mention.
No. Not even close.
So the only reason I can think of that a rainbow trout would be more targeted than a brown trout is solely through stocking into residential lakes where they're majority rainbow trout.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Which is might be fair enough. Yep.
But still, I would like to challenge all of our listeners out there. Please get in touch. When's the last time you went trout fishing? And in your own mind, specified if you wanted to catch a brown or a rainbow trout. Luke, very wordy, but that's for you to condense into an Instagram tile.
That's a lot to break down into one tile.
Yep.
But it's a good question. Do you actually
Because I've
choose
never,
the
ever
trout
done it.
species? Yeah, and we might be
I've never done it.
surprised because we're not hardcore trout anglers. We've done plenty of it, but people listening might head into the high country or lakes or whatever it is.
Sounds like something a fly fisherman would do.
Doesn't it? It does. What are fly fishermen targeting? Browns or rainbows?
I think they're just happy catching anything. If you were to...
Well, there you
it
go.
could just be fish. Their answer's just fish. What are you targeting today? Something.
A friend.
Yeah. Solid. Okay, so quickly moving on with a quick recap of the top 7, because after this is where we start getting a little bit of movement from the last couple of years. So King George whiting at 1, snapper, flathead, rainbow trout, brown trout, dusky flathead. Now, moving on to number 7, we actually have a species that's jumped 2 spots. So was number 9 in 2022, is now number 7. Any guesses?
So, okay, just before I make my prediction, going back to this, the question to the punters were, what is your preferred species to target?
Correct. Just
is your
target
preferred?
when you go fishing.
Yeah. Calamari?
No. Not a bad guess because calamari comes in at number 8.
Brim?
No, Murray cod. So Murray cod went from number 9 in 2022 to number 7
Yeah.
in 2024.
Hey,
Get it?
There's
I get it.
absolutely no doubt the popularity of that fish has skyrocketed, and
I get
continues
it.
to.
But a Murray cod seriously more popular to target than calamari.
This is the thing, and this is why I questioned the initial question. And I'm not knocking this poll. I think it's really interesting. But what we're asking is, because if you said to me, "What's your preferred fish to go and target?" It's not one that I'm actually doing the most. It's what I'd love to do the most, which would be yellowtail kingfish.
Yeah.
In fact, I do it fuck all these days, but I still love it when I do it. And you know what I mean? So
it's a very interesting question because also the percentage of the breakdown of people where they actually live will directly skew the results too. So if you had say 50-50 saltwater freshwater. Then Murray cod would be up there because the options to target species in the freshwater are really limited compared to saltwater.
Yeah. But if you're talking about what fish actually get fished for the most, calamari would be third at worst.
Well,
maybe higher.
It's interesting because calamari had dropped down a spot. It was number 7 last year. 2 years ago, 2022, down to number 8 in 24. Has the calamari bubble burst?
No.
Agreed.
It's land-based, it's kayaks, it's tinnies, it's big boat. But again, this is what you prefer. So yeah, if this is what you prefer to go catch or target, fair enough. Because they're not, it's sure we'll do a bit of a squid bash every now and then, but it's not on the top of everyone's favourite to do. It's a very doable and very catchable, and I think fished for arguably in the top 3 most, but it's probably not the most preferred. So okay. But I also would think then if you're talking about, and I don't want to railroad this completely, Ads, but if you're talking about the most fashionable and preferred to go after, is Murray cod too low on that list?
100%. If we're going just on current, I guess most talked about, cod would be up there. But so that, again, I found that very interesting. So Dusky Flathead at 6, Murray cod at 7, which was up 2 spots, calamari which slipped a spot to number 8. Coming in at number 9 and up 1 spot. So clearly a high percentage of people participating in this survey listen to the deep drop.
Redfin.
Correct.
Is it actually?
It is. So Redfin at number 9 moves up a spot from number 10 in 2022.
Okay.
So slowly but surely, Luke, we're making Redfin number 1. We're on the upward climb. We're having influence, I would say.
I mean, is it become the unofficial mascot of the deep drop? The old English perch?
The old English perch.
I mean, it's kind of been that we've spoken a lot about introducing species. It was introduced.
Well, I was just about to say I need to save this for next week's program. When we intro the show and you ask me what the deep drop is, it is the podcast that's preferred species that we talk about is noxious. That's kind of sums up the deep drop.
Yeah, but break it down. It's noxious, tastes great, looks cool, was introduced. It's a misfit.
So realistically, redfin should be number 1 based on the fact that it even made the list as a noxious species.
I love that.
It's that good that we ignore the noxious part.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making a top 10 list and you're actually an introduced, trout are too, but noxious species, then credit, hats off to you. I mean,
Yeah.
well played.
It's big time.
It's big time.
So
I want you to keep going because I'm finding I'm having a really hard time with something that we haven't actually read out yet. But continue.
Yeah, well, as an interesting one to round out the top 10. Not only do I find it interesting that it's in the top 10, as we continue to speak about some other species on this list, it's also slid 2 spots. It was number 8 in 2022, and it's slid to number 10 to round out the top 10 of 2024, and that's the gummy shark. A gummy's like the best kept secret of fishing now because they went through a massive popularity boom 15 years ago.
Okay, I need to get this off my chest. How is brim not in there? Now,
well, it's coming, but it's coming.
I thought it was a top 10.
I'm as surprised as what you are, and it was actually going to be my next controversial point.
Okay.
Because at number 11, and didn't move a place in 2 years, is not black brim. It's Australian salmon.
And I'm not saying that I'm not like the biggest brim fan in the world. In fact, I don't often... I actually caught some brim the other day, actually. But I don't often go brim fishing. But I'm struggling with this as the vast majority of recreational anglers are not hardcore fishers. So they're not the ones that are offshore and doing all the cool, like the crazy stuff. It's being able to fish off the bank down, near Lakes Entrance or down in any sort of estuary system in Victoria at all, with a peeled prawn, or flicking a couple of plackies around, or brim of that species.
And in at number 12, and didn't move from 2022, is the black brim. Don't know about it.
Oh, I'm not sure about.
Don't know about
12. I thought we were just doing 10.
No. This is a list of the top 20. We got heaps.
20? Oh, fuck.
20. Man. And there's one more.
So we're saying that the black brim in Victoria are less desirable than an Australian
species.
salmon.
Correct.
Or a gummy shark. Or a redfin, with all due respect.
Yep.
I'm not knocking a redfin,
offense taken.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, and I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm questioning it.
So the next one at number 13, and again remained unchanged from 2 years ago, is the golden perch or yellow belly.
Yep. Okay, I can handle that.
So, okay. The next one at number 14, again, hasn't moved a spot in 2 years, is complete and utter dog shit, in my opinion.
Why? Is it garfish?
No.
What is it?
It's not even a fucking fish.
What do you mean?
It's a yabby.
Come on. What's happened? You've lost me. You lost me after.
We're better than that.
Yeah, come on.
So yabbies. Hang on, we'll recap at the end, so I don't ruin the rest of the list. I'll breeze through the rest.
Can we redraft this?
Yes.
We
should.
An NBA redraft.
Redraft, yeah, 100%.
Okay, we'll do that at the end.
So the next few spots. So yabbies are at 14. We'll come back to that. Don't worry. 15, 16, 17 have also had no movement in the standings from 2022 to 2024. Mm-hmm. Following yabbies is silver trevally at 15. Garfish at 16.
Nah.
Yep. Garfish at 16. Number 17. Yellowtail kingfish. Hasn't moved in 2 years.
So you're okay. I've just about had enough of this, Adam.
There's 3 species left on this list.
What is and again, it's a very different to my argument about the brim before. But what is one of the most popular species, and it's growing in popularity in the last 2 years? I would have thought it would have moved highly up a ladder. I'm talking massive. Southern bluefin tuna,
which is in at number 18, and the biggest mover from 2 years ago. So in 2020 southern bluefin tuna was at 21, which is pretty cool. Seeing as though this list is only a top 20.
All right, let's round it out. I can't fathom that.
So southern bluefin tuna at 18
less preferred than a yabby.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So southern bluefin tuna up 3 spots to 18. Estuary perch falling a spot from 18 to 19, and mulloway dropping a spot from 19 to 20. So very quickly before we shit on yabbies for 5 minutes, I'm going to give you the rundown of the top 20.
Let's go through it.
King George whiting, snapper, flathead, all flathead species that aren't a dusky. Rainbow trout at 4, brown trout, dusky flathead, Murray cod, calamari, redfin, and gummy shark round out the top 10.
Yeah.
Then Australian salmon at 11, black brim, golden perch or yellow belly, yabbies at 14, silver trevally, garfish, yellowtail kingfish, southern bluefin tuna, estuary perch, and mulloway. Let's just say it feels to me like after spot 10, everyone stopped giving a shit about the survey.
It's a bit like that, isn't it? It's a bit like, when you you've read an article and you've gotten through the first 3 paragraphs and then you just brush over the last little line just because you're done. I love stats and facts and figures and opinion polls and all that. By the way, the political opinion polls. Do you know anyone who's ever been involved in one of those polls? In your whole life, have you ever met anyone? No, never.
No.
Yeah, anyway, that's a different argument.
So, a couple of things we need to break down. We'll get to yabbies. I know you're waiting. We'll get there.
No, look, I'm not going to
Yellowtail
shit-can
kingfish. I want to throw over to you at yellowtail kingfish because I could make a solid argument it wouldn't be in the top 20 unless you hung around Hastings boat ramp from January to March.
So where was it? What number? Yellowtail kingfish?
17. Exactly the same spot as 2022.
Feels about right. But what I don't like is some of the species that are, probably just I think tuna needs to be well above it.
So would you say that estuary perch are targeted less than yellowtail kingfish?
Nah, but I don't reckon the people that target them did this survey.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
And at least estuary perch and bass weren't lumped together in the same species.
And this is a conversation we've had recently, I think off air, but yellowtail king, let's be very real. We love yellowtail kingfish. Everyone, they're great. For so many reasons. In Victoria, and I'm just being realistic, it is a very small window of opportunity to target them.
Yep.
To then catch them is an even smaller window of opportunity.
So 12 weeks, you reckon, of solid yellowtail kingfish prime time Victoria.
And I'm not
most of the season's fish would be caught in a 12-week period, correct?
Oh, I think so. And yes, there's some people who do it very successfully and have for a long time and know where to find them. That percentage in the world of target 1 million recreational anglers is a fucking bee's dick. There's just not that many people doing it or into it, right? I'm not trying to make a statement. I'm just being real. To think that they're even in the top 20 is actually a little bit surprising.
Yep.
But I go back to my original statement. If you said, Luke, what's your favourite fish to target, of all times, or as in Victoria, like what's your favourite fish? It's yellowtail kingfish. Grew up doing it. That's what I've always loved to do. But is it sort of in my top 17 that I would actually target throughout the year? I don't know if it is.
But I was going to say, but that's not the question. The question is, what are you targeting when going fishing? So there's a couple of things that we need to break down in this, Luke. Yabbies.
Well, just before you go, one more thing.
I'm ready to go on yabbies.
I know. One more thing on kingfish. And so mulloway was at what? Number 20?
20.
Just a question without notice. Opinion piece. What's targeted more, mulloway or yellowtail kingfish?
Oh, mulloway for sure.
That's where I was heading. Okay. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I think we're thinking the same there. But similarly,
But to think
all
2 years
in the-
ago, southern bluefin tuna weren't even in the top 20. I find that hard to believe.
yeah, me too. All right. Okay, well, hit us with your yabbies.
So yabbies, to me, clearly, whoever was conducting this survey at VR Fish spent way too much time in the deepest, darkest regional parts of Victoria, where maybe, just maybe, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed. And they've walked up to these people and said, "What are you targeting today?" And they went, "Yabbies," and that went on the list.
Oh, fuck.
Because the question says, "What fish species, not fucking crustacean, are you targeting today?"
Well, then should calamari be on there? No. Cephalopod. Didn't say that. Said fish.
I'll buy into the argument.
You spend a lot of time in land ads. They might come for you.
The other one I find quite controversial, Luke. It's actually a species that isn't on this list.
Right.
I've walked many a great pier in Victoria.
I know where you're going with it already. I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
What hit me with it? What am I going at?
I might be wrong. Are you going to say mullet?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
because I've seen a lot of anglers over many trips towards anywhere that has a pier or a walkway or a boat ramp in any sort of inlet / harbour type scenario.
Yeah.
A lot of people fishing for mullet, Luke.
Because there's fucking heaps of them. And it's a great bread and butter species for, or, a great start to fishing for kids. And this is where I was going with brim. I'm talking, bloody 15 centimetre brim. That's what you cut your teeth on that stuff. And so many kids are doing it. Sorry, I get bloody. I'm passionate about it.
It's an interesting list, and this is why we love these surveys or polls, because you can create your own interpretation of this list. So, a quick recap of the controversial ones, Luke, before we move on to something else.
Yeah.
Seems pretty unfair that you separate dusky flathead from all other flathead species.
Bundle them up. I'd like to see it bundled up, as do I want to see trout bundled up, just for the sake of keeping this cleaner.
Yep, correct. Brown and rainbow trout. Pretty sure I'm not aware of any time someone's ever walked onto a freshwater stream in this beautiful state of ours and said, "I'm going to target rainbow trout only today."
And then catches a brook trout and goes, "Oh, fuck, day ruined."
What the fuck is this? Exactly. So, yeah, redfin, it's in the top 10. I'm okay with that. We're up a spot, so we're on the right track there with the reddies.
Let me say we. It's like it's part of Team Deep Drop.
Don't pretend like you're not infatuated with redfin either.
No, look, hey, I'm on board. I'm okay with it. I'm embracing it.
We've got gummy shark and Australian salmon targeted more than black brim. Don't know.
Australian salmon I can handle, again, for exactly what you touched on there, the piers and the jetties and the beaches and the sort of everything. Like, you can get them and they're a great, if there's a school of, again, like 15, 20 centimetre fish around a pier, then heaps of people are just chucking pippies at them. You know what I mean? So yep. I'm okay with it. Gummies, I'm not. Sorry.
So, yeah, it's okay. This is just our opinion.
Yeah.
Yabbies, I don't think I need to go there again.
No, you just...
shouldn't even be on the list.
Tastes good. Good eating, don't get me wrong. But
yeah,
that
good
wasn't
eating.
the question.
Hey,
that wasn't the question.
No, it wasn't. Southern bluefin tuna at 18, considering in a top 20 list, it was number 21 in 2022. No. Love to know what number 21 is in 2024, but the list doesn't go that big.
It'll be a blue throat wrasse.
Mullet, probably.
Probably.
And then, so that kind of,
where was
there's
garfish?
Always some controversial. Garfish was at 16. I'm okay with that. Hasn't moved in 2 years, though.
No, but that sounds about right.
I'm okay with that.
It was probably there at 16 in 1994.
Yep, I'm okay with that.
Nah, fuck, in the 90s, Garies would have been bloody top 5, I reckon.
Oh, it would have been 1, 2, and 3, I reckon.
Yeah.
So That's the top 20 list of targeted species from Victorian anglers in 2024. Some interesting stuff there, Luke. I like it a lot.
Is there an omission there that is controversial, that is not there? The carp?
It's a great question, Luke. I think after recent developments of Carpathon, it probably should be top,
Might have to move
three.
Might have to change Carpathon to Carpathon 25. Just saying, we're running out of time.
No, that's okay. We don't like to half-ass these events, Luke. So we'll take as much time as we need.
I don't want to throw another spanner in the works, but carp, yeah. Anyway.
Anything else you can think of that's missing? I really can't think of anything.
Did you say Silver Trevally was in there?
Silver Trevally's there. And a non-mover from 2 years ago. That's interesting.
Again, is it targeted? Like, is it something that's... I've always... this might be really...
Ooh, bycatch
wrong.
only.
That's the sort of... And hey, don't get me wrong. We've done a couple of targeted sessions recently on them because they're schooled up and they're big slabs in a local system. But...
Well, I think Lake Tyres and the Bellarine Peninsula have brought back Silver Trevally.
Maybe. And I'm all for it, by the way, because I reckon still reckon
not offended at all by it.
They're an underrated species for so many reasons, and undervalued. I think they're bloody awesome. If they could get
but no movement in 2 years. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I'm okay with it. But I also think, that they're even in there is a good effort.
Are you okay with it that more people target yabbies than Silver Trevally?
I've removed that from my mind. It's not even in the list. Yeah,
that's exactly what I needed to hear. And we'll move everything up a spot and slot in mullet at 20.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
Yep.
And just remind me, calamari was 7, 8.
Yeah. Down a spot, actually.
Yeah. So I'm not comfortable with
interesting
that.
Move. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Do you know what? And this is where my mind goes sometimes with this stuff. I know, and have a fair gauge on the whole market, but the amount of squid jigs sold every single day in Victoria and every week, you can't tell me that they're not higher than number 8 on preferred species. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think. All right, I'm going to throw this out there to the VFA. So anyone from the VFA... Oh, no, I'm throwing this out to the VFA from where we're going on how we can get a more comprehensive list going forward. Okay. I think it should be, you are not physically able to hit process on your fishing license without listing your top 5 preferred targeted species. I want cold, hard data from every single licensed fisher in Victoria. So when you log on to the VFA website to buy your license, you can't physically hit pay until you select your 5 most preferred targeted species. And coming up with the list... up with the list is easy. Anything that's in the VFA handbook, you can choose from.
Yeah, and it's just literally a select, like a click and select. You don't have to worry about
drop
typing
down
something
box,
out. It's
find them, click them in.
Yeah, it's just buttons and it's just easy. I like that. What would be yours? Let's go through it. What would be yours?
I reckon
you're about to buy your license. You don't want to sit online for an hour. You need to make up your mind.
I'd be clicking Brim 1, EPs 2.
Yeah.
Then I'd probably still go snapper over King George Whiting.
Yeah, and this is not what you necessarily fish for the most. It's what your favourite.
I prefer to target.
You prefer to target, yeah. What you enjoy to target.
And I would put redfin in there just for the sake of the cause.
I'm sure that wasn't the first selected. Fair enough.
That'd be my 5. In order, I'd muck around with the order a little bit.
Order doesn't matter. No particular order. It's all about just getting them in there, logging them.
Calamari,
yeah, mate. Calamari would be up there. So I reckon mine would be again in no particular order. Probably King George White and calamari. At the moment, Silver Trevally would probably be there.
Nice.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, nice.
again, like, am I putting kingfish in there just because of the romance I have with the fish? You know what I mean? Like, I love them. I don't know.
Do you know what other survey I'd love to see?
Trout. Probably trout. Are we bundling?
Trout.
If we're bundling
Trout's a
trout
good
up.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perch. Fuck. It's hard, isn't it, actually, when you actually think about it?
It is. If you had to pick 5 only.
Yeah.
But another survey I'd love to see is what would you like to catch?
Rooster
Victorian
fish.
species only.
Rooster fish.
No, we haven't stocked them yet, Luke.
We haven't done that yet. What would you like to catch? Yeah. Or,
What would you like to catch?
or what about what was the last fish you caught?
Oh, that's a good one.
That would kind of...
That's
that
a
would
really
kind of-
good one.
Yeah. That would kind of sort of, I suppose, really bring out the honest...
Yeah, that's a good one. That's probably better than a top 5, I think.
Oh, I'm always
What's the
interested
last
in the top 5.
fish you
but
caught?
Yeah.
What's the last fish you
What's the
caught?
last fish you caught?
Brim.
Mine's silver trevally. Big suckers. Shout out to Didge, the man. He's been out there today. The dirty dog. I missed a call from him earlier. So come fishing. It's fucking working. Ugh. That would be good to know. Like if you just did like,
That would be
Just threw that
that's
out
a
there.
great question. What's the last fish you caught?
and you can't.
Because maybe if you started asking license renewers for a top 5, you're like, no, this is fucking too hard, and just pick the first 5 on the list. The last fish you caught's an absolute belter.
I know it's it's almost a bit of a cliched one for social media, but we're going to ask it, Ads.
What's the last fish you caught?
Yeah, we're doing
Yes.
our own poll.
Yeah. This
Polls
now,
are-
this word.
Poll's an aggressive, emotional sort of a word, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
What was the last?
Speaking
this
of
is-
poll, just quickly off topic,
Yeah, is this,
Have you
is this
seen-
above board? Oh,
kinda. The
Yeah.
the Olympian, the
the bloke who knobbed the bar.
How upsetting would that be? So you work your entire life to get to the Olympics,
Yeah,
and everything's going according to plan, and you're a pole vaulter, so you've been sorting your shit out. Not an easy pastime.
no.
I wouldn't have thought. I've never done it, but it doesn't look easy.
Have you ever known anyone who has done it? Be honest.
No.
I
Never.
think it's a cult. That's another story. Go
It's
on.
niche. So, old mate from France
Oh.
gets it done, clears the bar, but on his way down, his shaft hits the pole, and it's a no jump. So, would you be? So, the question out of all of this,
Yeah.
is, would
What
you
did
be?
your shaft hit?
Would you? No. Would you be? Would you be ecstatic or
Yeah.
pissed that you become an internet sensation because your shaft kept you out of medal contention at the Olympics?
I think the good thing for him is it was flattering. Like it didn't make him look small.
No, but it was resting on the crossbar. Like it was.
But what I mean is it wasn't, like you could walk away going, hey, how many blokes have knocked the crossbar off?
He became an instant overnight sensation.
Unbelievable. There's always something,
Oh,
in the Olympics,
unbelievable!
but-
And there was another one.
That's him for life now. Like that.
Yeah, that's him. He's the guy. He's the guy whose pole knocked off the pole in the pole vault.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Another one of my favorites from the Olympics. Did you see the heats for the 1500 meters?
Running or swimming? What are we talking?
Running.
I did actually. I saw some. Yeah.
Did you see the Aussie? I think it's Stephen Hoare, Hoare.
Yeah, I feel like I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
and
happened?
in the
Did I miss
same
something?
race. Yeah, in the same race, there was a German guy, and his surname was Farken, F-A-R-K-E-N.
Yes, I did.
And there was a cracking photo after the race of Mr.
Yeah.
Farken standing in front of Mr. Hoare with a
Unbelievable.
very convenient Farken Hoare all over your screens
that's
in
brilliant.
people's surname. Solid photography.
I thought
A+.
there hasn't been I thought you might have been going down the same sort of path as the
No,
pole vault,
like Shervo.
Shervo. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus
Shervo.
Christ, has there ever been a package that's run down down the fast lane with
The greatest package in the 100 metres.
Shervo? Jesus Christ, made everyone blush.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
So
Just on
been entertaining week all round.
unbelievable. Oh, and I've enjoyed the Olympics. I haven't.
So have I.
There's been frustrating moments for me, and it's because of what should be in the Olympics ads. And we've spoken about. We've sold it. We've spoken to the IOC. Haven't really, but we've put it out there.
You'll
We
hear
will.
from us.
I mean, I'm sorry. I struggled watching skateboarding and BMX. And hey, I don't dislike the sports, but give me something else. This is
And
you
another
see-
one
did
that's
you see a
glaringly
video-
missing.
yeah. What?
And a shout out to all of our female listeners and their daughters. Because, Luke, you and I both have daughters that play this sport, yet they couldn't watch it in the Olympics because somehow netball is not an Olympic sport.
That's wild to me. That is crazy.
It is crazy because they have an ultra competitive World Cup scene
Yeah.
with some unbelievably talented netballers out there from across the world, yet it's not an Olympic sport. I cannot fathom
and it's an easy substitute. Like you could pick fucking 10 events that you could happily swap out for that. Like, and I know you and I are pretty passionate basketball fans, but the 3x3 stuff can fuck off.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I agree. I watched it. I watched a little bit of USA v France, I'm pretty sure, in the women while I was waiting for the last Boomers game to start against Greece.
Is that the one that took half an hour for someone to score? Like,
Yeah, and listen, they were having a crack, but what I don't understand, it's flat out fucking street ball.
it's it is.
They're allowed to beat the piss out of each other, and it's no wonder no one gets to 21. It's first to 21 or whoever's up when the timer runs out. It's like fucking wrestling with a basketball. It's a weird sport.
There is a sport that I think should be in there that we haven't spoken about until just the other day across social media ads. I don't know if you saw this. I had this sent to me, and it was extreme boat docking. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, get across the Deep Drop Instagram account. You need to look at this now. So there was there's video on the Deep Drop Instagram account that was sent through, and I mean, I would watch that. I want you to watch it in real time.
I'm going to watch it right. Is it on our page or was it a story?
Yeah. No, it's a reel. One of our reels, the most recent one.
Hang on.
The Outlaw.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's a
straight
sport.
away, his name's Jake Jacobs. Respect,
isn't it? And of course it is Jake Jacobs. And
so he's
big
coming
boats.
in. What? How can this happen? He's coming in full noise.
Yeah, flat out. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Then just rips it in reverse and backs that bad boy in. And there's two people on the deck, throw the hoops over the line, over the poles,
and he doesn't take out the jetty. That is incredible,
isn't it? That's what I'm saying. We're missing out here, people.
I'm gonna watch that again.
Do you know? I think what needs to happen
Oh,
is
hang
there
on.
needs to be
That's
some.
you talking. Make it stop.
Yeah.
How do you make it stop?
Shut me up.
Yeah, there we go.
There needs to be some event scouts out there in the world.
This is
You know what I'm saying?
this is actually incredible.
Like, it's proper. Like, that boat's like, what, 30, 40 foot? Like, it's
This dude-
a proper boat.
This dude reverses a boat better than I can reverse a car.
Yeah, but he also comes in at full throttle, just skims a couple of the docking pontoons, and then
Yes.
whips it in reverse and just, like, there's smoke and water going everywhere.
Yeah. But even just swinging it on a dime to
Yeah.
straighten up to come in backwards.
Yeah. And
Insane
I think
stuff.
he's driving it from the back, like from the little side console.
Oh, he is
thing.
too.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to check it out, what we're talking about, Instagram, the Deep Drop. Yeah. Thank you for sending that
That's
through. I
incredible.
can't remember where it came from now, but thought at first I'm like, what's this? And I went, no, this is it. This is what we need. This is what I would stay up in the middle of the night to watch. Extreme boat docking. The thing is, it must be a thing. There's an event
that's
out
right.
there that is extreme boat docking. So, and it even had little graphic logo. So I need to go
Yes.
search that up. It's going to be on YouTube somewhere. I'm going to
It
find
has to
that.
be.
It has to be. I want to get involved. I want to reach out to them and speak to the spokesperson of extreme boat docking.
Jake Jacobs, we need him.
We need Jake Jacobs on the show. Fuck. Write that down. Oh,
Yeah.
it's already there. Seriously, I'm
No, seriously,
tracking down.
it would be unbelievable.
Okay, I tell you what, we collectively, and I'm talking about you and I ads and our listeners, we're all busy, right? But I think if we can together track down Jake Jacobs or Jake Jacobson or whatever the fuck it is.
Nah, Jake Jacobs, I'm pretty sure.
Jake Jacobs, the owner of Outlaw.
Yep,
He's
Jake.
an extreme boat docker.
Yep, Jake Jacobs.
Let's find Jake Jacobs and get him on the show.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Talk us through it. Fuck. Brilliant.
How do you even work out that you can do that? How many boats have you wrecked? How many pontoons have you taken out?
Yeah. How many people have you sent flying? Like, seriously. How many deckhands have you lost overboard or just backed over? Like, you know.
How many limbs have you crushed? Like,
yeah. How many engines have you blown up?
so many questions. Is there a preferred size boat? Is there different size boat categories? This is incredible.
What's the world record currently? I mean, I'm assuming it's a time thing. There's a start line and then I guess when both ropes are around the pontoons. I don't know. And this is what we need to find out.
Because it's a standing start too. How many engines have you blown up trying to go from 0 to hero?
Has to be a few, hey. All right, so
we got to get him. Jake Jacobs. We've got to find him.
Jacobs. If anyone out there can track Jake Jacobs down, the extreme boat docker from the Outlaw, get him in touch or reach out. We want him on the Deep Drop podcast to talk through this sport and talk through it in detail.
We need to know about it. Yeah, we need to know about it.
I think we need to be involved in it. We need to bring out.
Do we need to sponsor a team? Do we need to sponsor a team?
That's what I'm thinking. Can you imagine? Oh, let's do this.
That would be okay. Jake Jacobs. Let's make it happen.
We could bring it to Australia.
We need to document the training because some shit would go down. You don't perfect that stuff without proper fuck ups.
I don't want to jump the gun and stand on Jake Jacobs' toes here, but I feel like I already know how this came about. There's long history of families that are commercial fishermen or whatever it is, and you can imagine that the younger of the family generation that have been involved in it, might be cray boats, whatever it is, they go, oi, I reckon I could back this in 5 seconds. Yeah. And another bloke in another boat's going, fucking whatever, Jake. And Jake goes, watch me. And fucking just
watch and learn,
in.
My friend.
And then natural human reaction is, well, fuck, I need to be able to do that. So then, and that's extreme boat docking was born. But I mean, I don't want to ruin the party.
I reckon you're pretty spot on.
I reckon that could be it. But I don't let me stop getting Jake Jacobs on the show because that's brilliant. I can't wait for that.
There would be that. In all bullshit aside, that would be
which is
more
rare
entertaining. Yeah, that's right. It would be more entertaining as an Olympic sport than some of the other ones in there.
That's what I'm saying. No, 100%. Like, seriously.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Would you watch that? Would you watch extreme boat docking or breakdancing?
No brainer.
Yeah.
No brainer.
Can you imagine Snoop Dogg if extreme boat docking was a thing?
Snoop.
Like, he'd be there. He'd be on the deck just like dancing, doing his thing. I love that he's involved in it.
Yeah, how good is it?
Yeah. Did you see him rock up to the equestrian full kitted up?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's just more. You know what? Extreme boat docking might just be the start. And you know what? Fuck the Olympics. Maybe we just start our own. Marine Games.
Marine Games.
Marine Games. So we can have our
it.
fishing. We can obviously have the fishing as the the centerpiece. It's kind of the the big one.
That's the 100-meter sprint of the Marine Games.
That's right. That's the track and field and the pool mixed together. But then you've got your boat docking.
Extreme boat docking.
You've got those wicked fucking little jet boats in New Zealand that they use to get around or not in New Zealand. Where is it? Where they go? It might be in America actually. There's little things that only fit like one person in it, and they smash through stumps and snags and stuff and go fanging around rivers.
You'd have like distance casting. That's got to be in there.
Distance casting. Oh mate, and it's endless, and it's probably its own show.
We could do it.
Marine Marine Games.
The Marine Games.
I feel like we could get more creative than that. Don't know what it is yet.
Kind of paints the picture really clearly, though. It
does,
the
though,
Marine
doesn't it?
Games.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Yeah. Okay, good. No, this is great. Hey, mate, it reaches all corners of the globe, ads.
Yep. Wherever there's water, there is the possibility of training for the Marine Games.
It almost sounds military, the Marine Games.
It does.
But it's
Well, the Marine Games
know what I'm
would
watching.
definitely attract some highly tuned athletes. So,
yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, yeah, tuned, you could have you could almost replace a lot of the just, hammer throw is just like, a bag of bait. You just hurling that out into the field, but not even. I think it warrants its own exclusive sort of events. Extreme boat docking is just one of those events.
It's just
In fact,
one.
I think
It'll be one of the
extreme
draw
boat
card
docking.
events.
I think extreme boat docking kicks the whole event, the whole games off.
Well,
That's the first
the
event.
opener.
That's the opener, and it's done in an arena.
Yep. Yeah.
It's got to be grandstands, or like it'll be in a in a marina and whatever. But
Yeah.
there's grandstands, like it's
Yeah.
proper fucking. There's at least 20, 30,000 people there.
I could actually see it. This is the thing, Luke.
It's a lot
I can
of people.
see it.
I aim big. Yeah. So
I can see it.
yeah. Anyway, we got a lot to work on, but geez, it's a no-brainer for me. So if you've made it this far into the episode,
Well done.
there's
Congratulations.
so much to get through there and work through. So we're going to be calling out for some help, but not to discount anything that we've sort of touched on with target fish and all that ads, but I think the biggest takeaway from this episode is getting Jake Jacobs on the show.
Yeah, I think so. No, I really hope the listeners made it this far
Yeah,
into
we
this
need
episode because
we need
I
help.
feel as though this is of utmost importance.
This is
Because extreme boat docking and the deep drop just go hand in hand.
just doesn't it? Doesn't it just make sense?
We need
All right.
Jake Jacobs on this show.
We'll sponsor him.
Let's get him. We got to find him.
All right.
Let's find him.
Well, let's do that. In the meantime, Adam, thank you. Great to see you, and great to be back and doing the show after a week off. And we've got a big couple of weeks off, coming up, I should say, as we mentioned, with after only a week away, and I suppose it also kicks off heading into a bit of change in weather.
Yeah, well, it definitely feels like there's a bit of spring in the air.
Oh Jesus, you've gone early with that.
No,
It's
it
the
feels
start of
feels
August.
like it. There's a bit of bloomage going around. I've noticed.
Okay.
I've noticed a little bit of bloomage. We've got a forecast of 19 degrees this
Yeah.
coming weekend. Still cold as hell in the morning, but
Yeah.
some
But
beautiful
no, but
days.
you know what I mean?
don't feel
So-
as though it's changing. I feel as though it's there.
As we head towards the end of this month, it's like things are starting to crank. There's going to be some things happening soon. There'll be some snapper getting caught in the next few weeks. Just
Definitely.
the odd one here and there. The water starts changing a little bit offshore and inshore. It's a good time.
Good times.
Good time. All right, mate. Good work. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to get over to the deepdrop.au, grab yourself a hat and stubby holder, and rep the brand. Join the family. You know what I'm saying? Have a good one, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Peace.